Welcome to another episode of Coast to Coast. I'm your host, Meghan Townsley, and we are obviously missing the other coast. I forgot his name. Matt? That guy, Matt. Yeah, well, he decided to take a vacation and cancel on me this fine Sunday morning and leave me to do the show by myself, which is fine. But before I dive into all the topics that I'm going to go into today, his agent shipped me this letter in the mail. Let me just... Sorry, it's a little crinkled. Okay. Let me read this eulogy real quick. MTTE has sadly decided to take the weekend off because this show is a joke to him. Thank goodness Meghan can carry and doesn't need him at all. Also, Matt talked to him, wanted the people to know that at the wedding he was at this weekend, he grabbed the bouquet in the bridal bouquet toss from the bridesmaids and then proceeded to box out women on the dance floor during the Cupid Shuffle at the wedding. There will be no further questions at this time. So, you guys have his address if you want to send him any hate mail for that. Why was he boxing out women on the dance floor? Anyways, since it's a solo episode, it's going to be a quicker episode today, and I wanted to dive into one of, if not the hottest topics going on around besides the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup, but the WNBA and the controversy that is surrounding that topic, unfortunately. So dive into that a little bit, mini halftime segment, just, me yapping to myself, and then a couple more headlines. So, okay, before I get into talking about the WNBA, I just want to give a little disclaimer that I am not a professional on this. My opinions are completely my own, and I just kind of wanted to highlight what is going on around the league and clear some things up because I've done the research, I've done the studying, worked in sports for a long time, so this is kind of the things that I've heard and seen going around. So let's just go into the First Take debacle. In case you missed it, I'm recording this on June 9th. Back on June 3rd, Monica McKnight was a special guest on First Take. And if you haven't seen First Take, it's pretty much a debate show between Stephen A. Smith and anyone who's sitting across from him. And he always gets the last laugh pretty much. But they spent 45 minutes talking about the WNBA on this episode. And that's very rare. Obviously, the WNBA does not get that much. 45 minutes on a TV show, on a sports TV show, that is nuts for the W. But Stephen A got very, very defensive. And at the end of the segment ended up saying, which sports show has done more for the WNBA than First Take? And with a long pause, McNutt snapped back and said, respectfully, Stephen A, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago, as in talking about the W more. And his face dropped. Literally, he said, wow. And they moved on because he was cooked at that point. Kudos to McNutt for that. But that is just one of the issues going on in the WNBA, is the fact that there's a divide between women analysts, the men analysts who want a piece of the W and want to act like they're on the same side as the league and not the enemy, and we're all together on this. So there's that aspect about it. And then there's the Caitlin Clark aspect. And that's kind of the biggest thing that I wanted to dive into is you can't simplify it any more than saying she's the new face of the league. Like, she really is. And she is bringing in a new audience who may or may not know anything about the W, but they're going to buy jerseys and they're going to go to games because Caitlin Clark is playing. Plain and simple. There are some analysts who claim that the other athletes in the W are insanely jealous of Caitlin, are targeting her, are not being grateful and giving her her flowers for getting them charter flights and bringing more attention to the W. And I think there's multiple sides to this, because I think it's great that Clark is bringing more audience, bringing more fans to the league. It's great. It's a small league. There's only 12 teams, in case you didn't know. It's only 12 teams. The league has only been around since 1996. It's a small league. It's not that much money invested into it. A lot of people call it the charity of the NBA. A lot of people think the hoop should be lowered. Again, I never said there was a lot of positive discourse around this league. But a lot of talking heads in the news, you can call me a talking head right now, I'm just here to tell you what I've learned, are saying that the athletes in the W are jealous of Caitlin Clark coming in and getting all this attention and being the new face of the league and the golden egg of the league, and, oh, we must protect her at all costs. Chuck on the TNT broadcast called out literally the whole league and said, women, you need to stop being petty. You're being petty like men. Give Caitlin her flowers for being so talented. She's getting you charter flights. Why are you being so petty? Stop being petty. And that that pissed some people off. That really pissed some people off. But the biggest incident so far that has brought all of this conversation of Caitlin Clark being a target in the league was when Kennedy Carter body checked her. Pretty much, Caitlin Clark was waiting for an inbounded pass. The tensions were heated, and Carter, walked up and just decked her. And yeah, it was a sloppy foul. It ended up being upgraded to a flagrant one after the fact, after it was already reviewed and the game was over, which I thought was very interesting. Because Caitlin didn't even have the ball. Hip checked her. Caitlin hits the floor. Whatever. Angel Reese was cheering and they were celebrating after that happened, and then Reese denied to talk about that subject to the media after the game, and she got fined $1,000 for that, which, I mean, that's a lot of money to the W. And ever since then, these people in the media are saying that Caitlin's a target and they're hurting her and they're ruining their chance of making a name in the league or making a name for themselves in the world of sports. Oh my God. People need to calm down about Caitlin being targeted. It's a game. This is a game. It's a physical game. Basketball's all about contact. I'm pretty sure Caitlin elbowed or Carter earlier in the game, and that's what got her heated. It's a game. Obviously, when Draymond goes and step on Sabonis, we get upset, but we're not out here saying oh, Draymond is out here specifically targeting people because he's not getting enough attention. No, Draymond gets plenty of attention. Okay? I just don't understand why now Clark being a rookie and her getting fouled hard is a new topic. It's not a new topic. I found this amazing thread on Twitter from Michael Harriet, and he pointed out exactly what I was thinking, that this is not new to bully the rookies. It's not new. I mean, going specifically back to the late 1980s when you had the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons versus Michael Jordan and the Bulls. I mean, Michael Jordan wasn't super big and very strong coming out of college, so we had to strengthen up when they created the Jordan rules. And in case you're unaware of the Jordan rules, back in the late 1980s, whenever the Pistons faced the Bulls, they created a set of defensive rules or plays called the Jordan rules, in which they would just use intense physical defense on Jordan to hurt him. They wouldn't want to let him catch flight. They would take him to the ground. They would double and triple team him at all times, forcing him into uncomfortable situations, pretty much forcing him to turn over the ball. This is not new. Seeing that there's someone who's coming into being the face of the league and wanting to knock him down a little bit, kind of give them a piece of what they're going to be getting themselves into. She's still young. It's not just a basketball thing, too. Tom Brady, he was hit more times than any other QB in history. And you can't, at the end of the day, you can't argue that Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. She is. She has broken so many records in the NCAA. She's brought in so many different fans. But let them play. Let the women play ball, okay? I think at the end of the day is that people just don't respect the W as a real league. They don't think it's actual basketball. They think it's too slow. It's not fun to watch. It's hard. It's physically painful to try to tune into. And the whole point of bringing more attention to the sport is to just get people to enjoy it and to put women on a platform and empower them. And with all of this negative discourse going on, and the second anyone gets fouled now, oh, it's because the women hate each other because they're petty. It's such negative discourse surrounding the fact that we are just trying to give women a platform to speak and not even necessarily get equal pay, because obviously they're not going to get equal pay as the NBA players. It's just giving more attention to women that are talented at what they do. And that's play basketball. These women are real hoopers. They are. They just are caught now. Unfortunately, the media is spinning any single web into a crazy storyline that has anything to do but the actual basketball. It's all the politics on the side. And that's what I think is really frustrating. And as someone who has covered some women's basketball, I was at a lot of the games at San Diego State University. These women are talented, and they're not getting a chance to actually stand out because of all of the negative discourse around it. It's so frustrating. You can see it in my voice right now. It's frustrating. Enough about my WNBA rant. Let me know in the comments what you think about the whole controversy going on, because at the end of the day, I just want people to watch them play basketball. Just let them play. My goodness. Okay, quick little halftime report. San Diego weather in May, in June. If y'all were planning to come to San Diego anytime soon, don't. I wish I could show you right now. There is no sun. We got May gray. We just got over that. Now it's June gloom. I'm out here complaining about 65-degree weather. I'm so sorry. Please don't come at me for that. I'm used to Sacramento summers. It is ugly outside. And that's why I'm in here recording on a Sunday, because it's literally I probably won't see the sun for multiple weeks. Multiple weeks. It doesn't start getting hot here until like after July, August, maybe September and October is the hottest of the year for sure. Don't come visit. Honestly, just don't. Alrighty, some other big headline news. We had game one of the Stanley Cup Finals last night between the Panthers and the Oilers, and the Panthers took a, dare I say, dominating game one win. They shut out the Oilers 3-0, and that is completely on the back of their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky. He is now the fifth goaltender in the past 40 seasons of the NHL to take a shutout win in game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. So that, if that's not already some great momentum, I don't know what is. They were leading 2-0 throughout the whole game, and then they had an open empty net goal with just 5 seconds left in the third period. But at the end of the day, the Panthers were just able to neutralize the Oilers' power plays. Even though the Oilers did outshoot the Panthers 34-17, it just looks like Florida's already in Edmonton's head, but it's just game one. Game ones don't necessarily dictate the rest of the series. And then speaking of series, we also got game two of the NBA Finals tonight. Can the Mavericks bounce back? I'm not going to say much about that because by the time this episode is released, it's probably going to be after or right before or during that game. But all I can say is if Kyrie is another shitty game, come on, Mavericks, please. Please put up a fight, please. Alrighty, okay. Told you it was going to be short and sweet today. That's all I have. We'll be back next week with some more content for y'all once Matt decides to get off his ass and actually record with me. So, with that being said, please like, subscribe, comment, all the above. Tell your friends. Again, I want to quit my multiple jobs and actually do something fun for once. Thanks, y'all.